1984, Steve Saleen changed the world for Mustangs and Fox bodies in particular. But what you may not know is he made some special 10th anniversary cars, and this one here should not exist. Find out all about it here on the channel right now. Hello and welcome to Gearhead 704. I'm Matt, and guys, we are still at Pitts, but we are doing car review features, and boy, do I have a fun one for you here today. You can see we've got all kinds of Fox bodies here, but we are actually talking about this one. This is a 1993 Saleen SA10 sort of-ish. I'm gonna explain all that. I have the owner here with me today. Hello, Bob, welcome to the channel. And you actually have your own channel as well, right?
I do, Purist Motorsports.
Yeah, so you do a lot of Mustang stuff. Is it mainly Fox bodies or just anything?
Mainly Fox bodies at this point, yeah. That's what you'll see, mostly Saleen Mustangs. You'll see some stuff from Performance Auto Sports Collection with Mark Lamaskin, that kind of stuff. That's
awesome, because on this channel here, we love Fox bodies.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you. You are a fellow brethren YouTuber, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
But this year, I saw this car here last year, and I was here last year, guys, at Pitts. I was still a little bit shy about asking for car reviews, and now I try to review everything cool I can, and this definitely fits the bill. I think you agree. I think the viewers do too.
I love it, of course.
Yeah. Actually, what I was just saying is, I guess there were 10th anniversary cars you were telling me, and I was confused by, because Saleen was in 1984, and you were telling me these 93 cars were actually produced in 94. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was a 10th anniversary. 94 would have been his 10th year of production.
Yeah.
So the cars were slated as 94s, built in 94s for the 10th anniversary. Even though they're 93s, the story is that they wanted it to be the 94 production. So they're actually from October of 93 through May of 94 is when these cars were produced.
But on these particular, I think the model is SA10, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And so the plan was only make 10 of them, right?
Correct. They were going to make 10. They ordered 10 chassis, VIN sequential from Ford. They're actually all in order. Black cars with black interior, 5-speed 308 gear as a base model. And then they were going to make 10 anniversary cars. You can actually see literature where they say we're going to build 10 are going to be produced. It's in a lot of the literature for the promotion. But the car, this one actually did not get completed by Saleen. It was sold off as a regular LX because the buyer that was going to buy it from Saleen ended up having to back out due to personal reasons. So the car was sold off as a regular LX. I found out about the car in the late 90s, learning about the SA10, and figured out that they were VIN sequential. I thought, okay, well, if they're skipping number 4, where is it? What happened to it? Does Steve have it? Does this? Where is the car? And the more digging I found, it was actually registered and driving around in LA.
Really?
Yep.
So Saleen did they ever buy it?
There was a dealership they were all funneled to. This car basically stayed on the dealer lot and got sold off.
Gotcha. All right. So they were going to buy it from that dealer. That's why they had sequential VINs.
They had actually squared away funds to get the car, all 10 cars. And then when Saleen couldn't sell it, because think about it, 94, new model, new style, 351 was coming out.
Yeah, you're right. They were just about to change the body style. SN95 was coming out.
Yeah,
so
this was an old chassis, so nobody really wanted it, and they couldn't find another buyer for it. So the dealer just took it into their inventory and sold it off.
The owner backed out, and then you found it. Now, this car, I believe, people were looking for it for a long time. Is that right?
Yeah, there were a few people that were looking for it. I just was able to get owner's information, and were reaching out. They were not reaching back. They listed it on Craigslist. That's where I found
really?
it.
Oh, now how long have you owned the car here?
I bought it in 2010.
2010. Okay, so a good while now, over 10 years, over a decade.
What I've done is I've built the SA10 I would have ordered.
Okay.
Using catalog parts from Saleen, NOS, used, or finding an original supplier and having like the strut brace reproduced.
Yeah, that's a good question, because we're looking under the hood here and I see, a Vortec. Is this a S trim?
It is an S trim. Saleen's would have come with an A trim or possibly a B trim.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. So it's close, but like pretty much you could order a supercharged from Saleen, right?
Yeah, and all of the SA10s are supercharged.
They all are. Okay, so you had to get that.
They were all customized to the owner's desires. Anything in the Saleen catalog, as long as it was working in synchronous through the car, like you couldn't do certain things because it just didn't work well together as a driving vehicle.
Okay.
But anything in the catalog from Saleen at the time could be put on these cars. Okay. Anything.
See, it's got the Saleen intake. Now, I'm not very familiar with the engines. Obviously, they're still 302, but did they change heads and cams on these?
Yes, because this car, I've got Edelbrock heads that were offered in the Saleen catalog on it. There were custom cams that they put in them. The Saleen intake was an option. Basically, the base car would have been a factory supercharged stock engine. So you could grow from there. Heads, cam, rockers, intake, and upgrade the supercharger to what would be the B trim at the time. And balanced and blueprinted short blocks as well.
Really? I did not know that.
There's a few of the cars that actually got that.
Of course, it's 5 lug, which those normal Saleen's got that. Is it 4-wheel disc as well?
Yeah,
93 would be, right?
All Saleen's.
All Saleen's were, yeah,
from
you're
80,
right.
87 up. But these cars had 13-inch front brakes, They're basically a race brake setup. The 3-piece stern wheels, of course, which is like jewelry now.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny. Like people are like, I don't want this car back in '93, and now. How many offers do you get actually? Honestly,
I've had a few.
I bet. Did they have a Saleen on the calipers back then?
Yeah.
Okay, they did do that?
Okay.
Okay.
That's the exact same setup that would have come on the SA10. Like all the parts, this car would be, if you were to set it to my goal when I built it, over the course of 8 years, 9 years, you set it next to a real one, you couldn't tell if this one or the other one was built by Saleen.
Okay.
That's the goal. Everything's exactly as Saleen would have done it.
Awesome. All right, well, one thing I forgot, guys, I was getting too excited and getting ahead of myself. We need to give you guys a full walk around of this. So let me do that real quick and we'll finish up with the story. Okay, so the interior wise though, did you have options with the SA10 interiors?
Yeah, they were all Recaro seat equipped except one.
Okay, except one, that's interesting.
You know, the owner was very close, still is, close friends to the Saleen family, and they got what would have been replicated in the SSC seats, flow fit.
The flow
it
fits?
has white, black, and yellow seats.
I do love the flow fits, honestly.
So, and that car's easy to spot because it has white headrests. So if you see pictures, you're like, oh, that's car number 3.
Okay.
But the owner had the speaker box like the SSC. It's outfitted, but Recaros were the standard.
Okay.
And then all of them had leather. One car has a different set of Recaro seats in it. That's a race seat. 4-point roll bar, 6-point roll bar, 2-point roll bar. Yeah, there's a number of different options.
Okay,
Gauges.
this one doesn't have a cage in it, right?
No,
okay.
but that's something I do want to add. And
Did all of them have it pretty much, or
I think
have to?
they had 2-point was like the base.
Okay.
And then everything else was added. You know, if you wanted to, some rear seat deletes. I mean, there's a number of different configurations.
What do you think you'll end up putting on this one? How many point roll bar?
6. I want the
6?
6-point.
Okay.
Yeah, which goes in it. It has the back seat, so it would be the only one if it were built to have a back seat and a 6-point cage.
Okay, but that was an option you could do.
Yep.
That's cool. I do like the back seat, honestly, and is the back seat leather too? Yeah, it looks like it is. That is nice. I mean, I'm seeing one thing that stands out to me. Almost Steve Saleen 10th anniversary. Is that, did he actually sign?
Yes, he did.
Really?
Yeah, he did it at the Charlotte Nationals when we had the Saleen Nationals in Charlotte.
Oh, that is so cool. What did like that's a cool thing. Like, how did Steve react when he saw?
Well, he sat in the car and he grabbed the shift knob and was looking, you know, kind of inspecting things. And then he said, well, you thought of everything. It's all here. He really didn't go beyond that. And then when he rounded the back of the car after writing almost, he hadn't seen the license plate. And it says almost 4, which is what I call the car, almost 4.
Oh, okay.
And he goes, hey, it matches.
Oh, that's cool. So he was the one that wrote almost then.
Yes.
Oh, that is even cool. I had no idea on that. I mean, when Steve Saleen says, well, you got it right, I mean, how did that make you feel?
It was pretty, yeah, it was pretty special.
I mean,
yeah.
That would make, yeah, I would be happy about that. Okay.
The dash plate, one point, the dash plate is the one they actually produced for the car.
Oh, okay,
Right
it
in
is.
front of the
Oh,
shifter.
really? So Saleen did that for you?
Well, they had all 10 of them made because they were going to sell them.
Oh, right.
So 23 years later, it actually found its home
How did you find that?
through a good friend in the Saleen community.
Okay. That is cool. I don't even know if I got, guys, I got to get a closer look at this one because I don't know if I got the camera in close enough. I'm being very gentle with your car, Bob.
Just a Mustang.
Be like, but see, if I break it, everyone will know. Gearhead did it. You keep saying it's just a Mustang. Yeah, look at that plaque, guys. This was actually made for the car, and 23 years later, found its home.
Yep.
Found its home. That's pretty cool. These gauges, was that where they would have been?
It's an option that they would have had in the car. Some of them had the boost and fuel pressure gauges, just
Okay.
like that. And I actually worked, the gauge on the right is a replica. The gauge on the left is a real. They're both VDO, but I had to have the one on the right made to be,
Yeah, couldn't find it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, it's stuff like, you know, trying to replicate things that are now 30
Right,
years old.
right. I mean, they're just, that's the age of the cars. And so as far as the interior, like this probably had to be tough to get a hold of, I would imagine.
It was, like I said, it took 8 years to complete just for gathering stuff.
8 years, okay, yeah, I forgot to ask you that.
Getting stuff together and all that, of course, it's been painted, but the seats are actually from a Saleen, but they've been recovered. They were leather and we recovered them to match. The yellow stitching was something that was standard on all the cars.
How many miles were actually on the car when you got it, like just driven as a regular, what? I guess it was an LX hatch, right?
Yeah, it's 100 and, I have to look, 110,000?
Okay. Well, we'll cut to that, you know. But this is kind of so neat. I mean, I saw this story on Instagram once, and then you told me more about last year. Where are we at now?
It's showing 114 now, so probably 110 when I got it.
Okay. And did they have any idea what they had?
No, it was just a family, 3 brothers. Actually, it was the youngest of 3 was the guy that was actually driving it. The older brother bought it. Then a couple of years later, it ended up in the younger brother's hands.
Now, is it a T5 trans?
It's a Tremec 3550 that's in it.
Was that an option from Saleen,
Yes.
the Tremec? It was. Okay. I didn't realize that Tremec was actually an option.
Yeah, because I mean the catalog was filled with superchargers, transmissions. Like I actually have Delmer bushings,
Control arms?
Oh,
okay.
Triladder subframe connectors, rear control arms, panhard bar, which I think they all are supposed to come with, and it's all Saleen spec.
What's the rear end gears? It's still an 8.8, I know, but
yeah, it's 355 is what I chose.
Okay.
Just more of a streetable gear.
Yeah, could you even get 410s back then?
I think so.
Okay.
There were certain things that Saleen would steer you away from.
Yeah.
If it was putting the car at risk of not working, like I said, in synchronous.
Right, you said like some of the options required, like you check this box, you need to do these things.
Yeah, and they would guide the owner through that.
Normally I ask like, what are the things that you're going to do to the car, but you already mentioned the cage. Is there anything else kind of to finish it out, or is it kind of done?
It's mostly where I would want it. I mean, yeah, the cage is pretty much the last part of like fulfilling a dream. I do need to rebuild the transmission, true to form. Mustang owner, limited budget, I had to buy a used transmission.
Okay.
Third gear needs to be rebuilt.
Yeah, I mean,
the fun gear's gone in the car right now, but
that's okay. I mean, in truth, they're never done, right?
That's true.
So I love it. And then they all had to be painted this color, correct?
Yeah, the outside had to look the same. They all got that hood. The outside of the car, the wheels, that's why they all look the same. It's kind of hard to tell them apart.
It's kind of cool though. I remember on like the SSCs in '89, they all had to be the white, you know, so I like it. But I like how they're all customizable. What is your favorite thing about the car, or is it just that you have it? Maybe that's just you have
getting it.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent 12 years tracking it down, starting from curiosity, and then in 2009 I had a couple of SA10 owners actually give me information about the car.
Okay.
So, and I think there's a sheet of paper which I haven't gotten yet, but it has all the VIN numbers, and right next to mine it says not built.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You know, I just realized too, you spent 12 years looking for the car. It's 2022. You bought it in 2010.
Yeah,
I owned it 12 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that's true.
Full circle,
Yeah,
honestly.
true.
That is pretty cool. Well, I love it. I want it. I'll have to buy another one. I need a lot more subscribers, guys. I need some money to buy one of these.
Absolutely, yes. Help him out, please. Subscribe.
Actually, no, guys. Go ahead and subscribe to him. Check him out because you do all kinds of Saleen stuff, and you obviously know a lot about these cars.
Thanks. Anything on it is either used or NOS, Ford or Saleen. Everything. Like this came from Matt.
Oh, at Fox Rosa? Yeah.
Like 10 years ago when he had NOS stuff.
Yeah.
These are NOS quarter windows. NOS.
Did you get the quarter windows from Matt?
No, I actually had a guy in the glass industry who helped me with that. But I did get like a lot of parts. The rear hatch shade came from Matt. It's one of the ones he restored.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like, I mean, they were a big part of helping me get where I need to be with, because I wanted all original. I didn't want the car to look completely fresh restored, obviously fresh paint, but I wanted it to be presentable to its age, because the interior panels are all original. The door panels are original.
Right. That stuff fits the best too, honestly.
Yeah, it does. I mean, not that anybody would care, but they used a wood screw to hold that on, so I left the original door panel in, but that was a wood screw that held the door panel, because they're all bad about peeling away.
Yeah, for sure.
So one of the owners did that, you know.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I love those touches. Bob, thanks for sharing the car on the channel.
Thank you.
Really
for having
appreciate
me.
Oh, absolutely. And be sure you guys go subscribe and check him out. They shut the lights off on us, guys. I'm being heckled here. Check the bloopers for that. So I got to get out of here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe to Purist Motorsports and my channel if you want. And we'll see you here next time on Gearhead 704.
So that's what
bloopers
they
by
want.
there. Nick's House Videos, check him out. Okay, all right. And guys are turning off the lights on us, but I'm more familiar with the SSCs, and that was a few years before this, so it seems like by then.
You're being heckled.
Yeah, look at these guys. Freaking turning the lights off on me, doing this stuff. Trying to be serious.
I'm trying to find that Duke Blue car.
Wait, yeah, where's that Duke Blue car? You're trying to be serious?
I'm never serious. But anyway, Duke Blue.
Something like that.
All right, guys, this is all blue. See, this is what happened. You thought you were coming to a professional YouTube channel? Well,
Yeah,
I don't know if you thought
absolutely.
that, but it's not at all.
I should change my expectations then.
Yes, you need to do that. Duke Blue is go. Sorry.